Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Temitayo. Today's video is about how to draft a female shirt pattern, and I promise you it's beginners friendly. So guys, let's get started. So these are the measurements you need. This is going to be the center line, which is on fold. To get the amount of fabric to fold, divide the largest measurement of the upper bodice by 4. It's usually the hip in most cases. So from the center line, I'll measure 2.5 inches, which will serve as my buttonhole allowance, and measure nothing less than 1 inch for my starting line, that is my shoulder line. So remember, you are cutting your front pattern on fold. Then I'll measure the neck depth and the neck width. I'm using 3 inches by 3 inches. Remember, all measurements start from the shoulder line, and all measurements will start from the 2.5 inches buttonhole allowance line. So I'll connect my neck width and my neck depth with a French curve. So then I proceed to getting my half back measurement, which is my shoulder to shoulder. So normally my shoulder to shoulder is 16 inches, but because I don't want it fitted, so I would use 17 inches, which is 8.5 on fold. So on that point, I come down by 1 inch, that is for my shoulder slope, and connect it back to my neck width. So I proceed to get my armhole length, which is 8 inches normally, but because I don't want my shirt fitted, I'm going to use 9 inches. So like I usually say, just like that, I've gotten my chest line where I'm going to put my bust measurement on. So I'll proceed to get my half length, which is 18 inches, then my shirt length, which is 29 inches. So after getting that, I wrote those points into a straight line, as you can see me doing right now on the screen. So then I'll take my horizontal measurement, that is my bust, my waist and my hip. Please don't forget to label your line so as not to get confused. So on my chest line, I'm marking the quarter of my bust. Then I'll move to my half length. I'll mark the quarter of my waist. Then I'll go to the hem of the shirt. I'll mark the quarter of my hip. Please note that the length of your shirt is according to your preference. Mine is 29. You can make yours 28 or 27. So then I'll connect the points together with a straight ruler. So on the hem line, I'll come up by 1 inch, that is from the side. I come up by 1 inch just to get a more fitting shape for the shirt. Then I'll connect that point into the hem line with a French curve. So in case you don't understand what I'm saying, just follow what I'm doing on the screen. So coming up on the pattern paper, I get my armhole. For more clarification on this armhole, you can check my video on how to draft basic bodice pattern. I'll put the link in the description box below. You will understand this aspect more when you watch it. So right now I'm cutting out my front pattern. So I'll fold the 2.5 inches buttonhole allowance in to cut my neck, as you can see me doing right now. So if after cutting your pattern and the neckline comes out like this, don't worry, you are still on the safe side. Then don't forget to cut off that excess on your shoulder, as I'm doing right now. So on the shoulder line of the front pattern, I'll come down by 1 inch. I'll mark a straight line and cut it off. You will understand why I did this shortly. So that is all about the front basic pattern. So on the back pattern, I'll make sure I come down by about 3 inches from the starting line. Then I'll measure my shirt length, which is 29, and my half length, which is 18, and I'll square the lines. Please note that the back pattern is also on fold. The neckline for the back pattern is 3 by 1, that is, the neck depth is 1 inches while the width is 3 inches, just like the front. And I'll still connect both points with my French curve. Then I'll mark my back measurement, that is my shoulder to shoulder, which is 8.5. I had to measure what I have on the front pattern so as to be sure. Remember, I said I don't want it fitted, that is why I used 17, which is on fold, will be 8.5 inches. So on that point, I'll come down by 1 inch just to get my shoulder slope. Then I'll connect that shoulder slope to my neck width. So just like I did for the front pattern, I come down from that shoulder slope by 9 inches. So remember, my actual armhole length is 8 inches, but because I don't want my armhole to be fitted, I'm going to use 9 inches. So now after getting that, I proceed to get my bust, my waist, and my hip. That is finding the quarter of each, and I'll mark the points and connect the 3 points together. Then I'll proceed to get my armhole curve just like I did for the front pattern. So guys, if you have enjoyed the video so far, kindly like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your comments. If you have any question, ask me in the comment section, and make sure you turn on your notification bell so that when I upload my next video, you'll be the first to know. So if you are yet to understand how I got my armhole, I'll be dropping the video of my basic bodice pattern in the description box below, so you can watch it and you will understand more on this armhole. Okay, now, so remember I removed 1 inch from the shoulder line of the front pattern. So I'll be replacing that 1 inch on the back pattern like you see me doing right now. So placing my front pattern aside, I'll go to the upper part of my shoulder of the back pattern and mark 1 inch and connect the points together. So this is to form that come down effect on the shoulder of a common shirt. I'll be showing you what I mean by that shortly. So like I always say, don't forget to label your pattern. Then I come up by 1 inch on the hem of the shirt like I did for the front pattern, and I'll connect that point to the hem of my shirt. So then I'll cut my back pattern out. So after cutting, I place my front pattern on my back pattern, and can you see the come down effect that I'm talking about? So that is why 1 inch was removed from the front pattern and added back to the back pattern. So this is the fabric I'll be using. This is an off-white crepe and it's 3 yards. So I just folded my fabric into 2 and I'll be placing my front pattern on it. I'll add 0.5 inch allowance to the shoulder and armhole, and I'll add 1 inch sewing allowance to the side and the hem of the shirt. Remember to open up the buttonhole allowance like I just did and spread the pattern. That is, don't fold it in when you are cutting. And also make sure that the edge of the center pattern is touching the folded part of the fabric. So I'm holding it down with clips so it won't shake when I'm cutting. And I'm just trying to demonstrate how I'm going to put the allowances. Please take your time when measuring those sewing allowances so they can be equal and even. So let's cut out. So here I'll advise you have two separate scissors, one that you use to cut your paper pattern and the other one that you use to cut the fabric. So after cutting out, I'm just going to remove my pins and place my front pattern aside. Remember, we have two pieces for the front, so I'm going to use my scissors to cut the center front out. Remember, the front pattern is going to be two pieces. So for my back pattern, I also had same allowances to my back pattern. I had half inch to the armhole and the shoulders, and I added 1 inch to the sides and the hem. Then I cut it out. So guys, turn on your notification bell so that you will be the first to know when I drop the part 2 of this video, which is going to be the detailed sewing of the shirt. Remember that the back pattern of a shirt is always one piece. There's no joining at the back. So you can also notice that this shirt is dartless. So because it's a free shirt, so we don't need any form of that. Thank you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.